Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining me. I'm doing a vlog thing again for a good friend of mine, Zach Chopchinski. He is the author of The Curious Tale of Gabrielle and the series that's going to follow with it. And I'm working with him on his blog tour. So, Zach, thanks for inviting me on this.
Well, thanks for having me.
Not a problem. And for those of you who don't know Zach, I've gone through a couple of different interviews with him. So it's always fun and always exaggerated in really weird tangents. So we'll try and stick to the author things. And first off, now when did you release The Curious Tale of Gabrielle first?
A year ago, actually. Last March is when we released the original one. I say we, my wife and I, because she's kind of a partner in this one with me. We released it a year ago this March, and so that's why I thought it was kind of fitting to do the re-release in March.
So it's like an anniversary present for your book. We're gonna get you out and build you back up again.
Yeah, kind of.
So for those people who haven't read it the first time, without, I guess, spoiling anything, what can they expect if they want to go back and reread it, or for new readers who want to go and read it the first time? What's different? What's new?
Well, something that I did first and foremost is it's larger. I added about 14 to 15,000 words to it. Brought it up to just a shade under 70,000 words now. I did that for a couple of reasons. One, selfishly, because I had ideas kind of kicking around in my head, and I was like, I looked up the definition of a novel because my wife has spoken about novellas in the past, and I was like, well, I told myself I wanted to write a novel, so what's the difference between the two? And kind of word count. And what I was able to find is, kind of one of the running beliefs is a novel is 70,000 words and up. So that was kind of just a selfish one to push myself towards. But I've added a lot to it. I have introduced a couple of new characters, and I am setting the groundwork for a running antagonist to progress through the rest of the series. So,
okay, first question. Are you saying that bigger is better then? Is that where we're going with that selfishness?
No, not at all. That's why I wanted to say that I was being selfish. Is there's nothing wrong with smaller books, and I was very proud of mine because I released it. Despite what arguments of many people may say, bigger is not always better.
It's how you really read it and
Absolutely.
enjoy it. If you know how to read it well, then whatever the size of your book, it's going to be good.
Yeah, we're talking about books still, right?
And when you say books, you
yes.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. We're already back at that stage.
Director's cut, right?
That's right.
But that's why I said selfishly, because there's nothing wrong with it. It was just something that I looked at it and said to myself, that's what I wanna set it for. This was much as a goal and an aspiration for myself as much as it was for anything else. So that's where I set my eyes.
So for your purposes, do you think it's easier to, because I know personally, as far as I look at the series that I've done, I'd love to go back and edit it and beef it up in here and there, but it's at that point where it's in the midway. For you, is it better to have started back and re-edited the first one before completing the second one?
Yes, and that was one of the biggest things. Is in the second one, kind of bouncing ideas around, I decided that, okay, I want this character to be able to grow and develop, because that's the biggest part of when I'm reading a story, and I can kind of develop a little bit with the character, and you kind of get that relationship, and you start to identify with them. But I thought of a few different areas. I was like, well, you can't just have necessarily one character. You need a little bit of depth. So I wanted to add kind of a secondary running protagonist that they're going to kind of support one another and allow for more options of people as they're reading. And again, like I said, each one of the books initially was going to kind of be a standalone story, but I didn't want that. I wanted them all to tie together. And so I wanted, again, to introduce the running antagonist as well. And I feel that going back and doing the things that I did with the first one really sets that foundation to progress forward in the areas that I wanted to go.
And As far as writing goes, when I look back at things that I've written, I just kind of tuck my head down like a turtle, trying to protect myself, because I feel like as time goes on and I read more and I write more, it feels better to me. Did you find the same thing? Like, did you read the first one and go, how did how did I not see that before?
Yeah, actually, it's funny, there were one circumstance in particular I went back and reread, and I have my main character, Gabrielle, in one scene leaving something in one place and exiting that location. She leaves a coin in a shop, and which prompts later on whole new things. And I wasn't paying attention, and then probably 6 pages later, I have her playing with the coin in her pocket as she's no longer there. But then another few pages past that, she freaks out like, oh my God, I left that. So there were a couple of areas where I kind of caught myself. You know, you write for a bit, take a break for a day or so, things come up, get back into it, and you pick up where you left off. But sometimes if you don't read far enough back, you're like, oh, crap.
And you had mentioned that you had actually gone through professional editing this time. So the first time you had actually just edited it completely on your own, or with friends and family?
I had some assistance with good friends. Some you may know, and it was really a lot of things were caught from different people that I had kind of read it. I got notes worth from each individual person that caught spelling errors, typing errors, things of that such. And I felt, you know what, that's fine. But there were still some things that got missed. And so I kind of came off my high horse and spent the money and hired a professional editor who that is her business, is she just edits works from graduate papers to novels. Initially, I'll be honest, I was going a little bit of a cheaper route because I didn't really have the money, but I felt that I needed to invest it so it developed where I wanted it to be.
Yeah. Was there anything else that you did, anything additionally other than editing and elongating the book?
Not particularly, no. Just adding the areas that I wanted to add in the professional edits. Keep in mind, it's not. I did add some things to it, so of course the you get the reread aspect of there's more things in there, but I added those things with a purpose. So there's also what I feel is a completely different kind of spin on the story. You kind of have the same start and a similar end point, but rather than from A to B, I kind of added a few zigzags and turns through there. So,
and you have a second book, I believe, in mind, or is it done?
It's being worked on right now. I don't quite have the word count right now, but I'm a little bit over 100 pages, I believe. It is the second one in this series, which is The Curious Tale of Gabrielle, Vivre la Vie. You can guess where that one takes place. And if you read the first book, you'll know at the end of the book where that one takes place.
And for you, do you have a deadline of your own? So, I mean, since you're independent, you can pretty much publish whenever you can. Do you have a date that you've actually tried to put in your head as to when you'd like it out?
Well, I'm going. One of the things I'm doing this summer is I'm going to Utopia Con, and that is in June. And my goal was to have books 1 and 2 completed and ready to roll out for that convention. So then I can kind of have, illustrate the progression and have multiple mediums that are available to people that are attending the convention. And
is that still your goal, or?
That is still the goal. I'm working on it. I started working on that this month. And I want to say I'm just about 30,000 words or so into it. I kind of posed my own NaNoWriMo to myself, and I wanted to have 50 by the end of this month. And while I'm doing that, and even as I'm writing it, I'm commissioning this editor once more, and she's going to kind of edit as I write. So then as I bring it to its completion, she's also done as well. I have a photographer working on the cover of it right now, and I already have my graphic designer lined up. So hopefully by the end of next month, it will be ready, but it probably won't be released until maybe June when the convention is.
Gotcha. Now, for those people who don't know what Utopia Con is, where is it and what's that all about?
That is in Nashville, Tennessee. And what that basically is it's a fantastic convention that it brings a lot of authors and publishing companies, things of that such together. And it's a really good opportunity for people to network and for indie authors to really kind of get their things out there. And I'm hoping that it will be a good way for me to kind of get Gabrielle's story out as well.
Correct. And for those people who don't know, I was going to go to Utopia Con with Zach, and I unfortunately bailed on him about it.
Well, they looked at your website and then my website and what we write, and they said you both can't come. So it's not your fault. They blacklisted.
They wanted you, and I had to graciously tuck my tail and.
No, it's not that. They just felt that you and I would have just fed too much off of one another, and I pulled the short straw and have to go Stag this year, but next year you and I are taking it by force.
Yeah, next year they don't know what's coming. It's just
Nope.
going to be
not at all.
Other than that, you have your own newsletter, you have your own blog, you have this book that's re-released, you have the other book that's hopefully going to be released before June, and other than that, is there anything else you have coming down the pipeline that you want to announce or work on or shoot towards?
Really, basically right now, I'm really working on my publishing company, which is If You Trust an Oak Press. I have gotten some different areas where I'm going to start to kind of try to branch out and get myself available into some more stores. I recently had a meeting with a really great local bookstore down here called Writer's Block, who they have one of the few releases of the new book, and they are offering to have me come and do an author signing there. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, essentially outside of working on the book itself, I'm really working on the publishing company. I really want to grow that and get that where it is. So maybe someday I'll be able to help out other authors as well.
That's cool. And you've moved from Maine down to Florida now. Did you find that move, I don't know, at all stressful towards your writing, or was it actually kind of a boost to help you get it done?
Little column A, little column B. Moving's never fun ever. I don't care who you are. And so it was an uproot, but it was really good because now I have a very nice kind of private office nook that I've created that I'm sitting in right now. And so I can kind of sit back and just kind of immerse myself in everything to really kind of focus myself. I drink some tea or some coffee, listen to some music, and lock myself in this small little room, and I write. I mean, it is tiny. It's here to here are the walls, and it's almost the same here. Like, I'm almost touching both walls. It's a really tiny office, but this bookshelf, we have one the exact same size right here that's even more full. My desk full of books and stuff. So
that's your author stuff.
I call it my literary womb.
Is it moist in there?
Yeah, that's not good for the books.
Yeah, humidifier in that.
The walls sweat a bit, I'm not going to lie. Yeah.
See, what I love right now, if we look right behind you and see all the books, what's up at the top there?
Well,
is that like a Mr. pageant type thing? You know what I'm saying?
I like dresses. Once upon a time, up until I was, I'm 27 now. Up until probably I was 23, I competed in martial arts for many years. I competed in the Maine State Championships and the Ohio State Championships. I placed in a couple of them. What you don't see up there is I have a couple of the wrestler style, goofy looking belts. I'll be an author behind the scene note. I've done it since I was 5, and I always have taken it very seriously. And unfortunately, when you mention martial arts to people, you get a couple of different things. You get the 12-year-old kids that took classes at the Y and now have a black belt, and you get people that think that the Karate Kid is a real thing. So I honestly I don't normally talk about it, to be completely honest, because I feel that people don't really necessarily take it seriously anymore. You know what I mean? It's kind of become just commercial and spitting out and things like that. And I was very fortunate to go to a school in Ohio where the gentleman, his name was Master Fuzi, he was actually from Korea, and he was a grouchy and mean man.
How is this not the Karate Kid?
I know, right? Well,
Did he have you
Korea
pick
and Japan.
his house and fence?
And so yeah, so I completely forgot those were up there, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I had no idea what those were. I was more or less creating this corollary by looking at your wonderful achievements, and then in my background, I have the beginnings of a massage parlor, it seems.
Well, I was gonna go like, literary. You got that 50 Shades of Grey thing going on.
Yeah, you have nothing else, do you?
Nope. I was like, oh, I could zing here, but then the zing went away because I'm like, no, there's just 3 lava lamps and some candles,
Yeah.
and quite possibly a massage chair or an exercise bench of sorts.
It's versatile. We can use it for whatever. Well, I hope that everything goes well, and now everybody can buy this through Amazon. Through
Yes.
What are all the mediums here?
Presently, you can go a couple of routes. You can pre-order the second edition on Amazon. Yes. I would caution people, because right now my book is available. The original edition is available on Amazon as well. We've had some people think that it's the new edition coming out and purchase that one. And I fixed that, but they are available still. Where else was I going to go with that? Yeah, so you can pre-order them on Amazon. Funny thing about Amazon, I found used copies of my book being sold from Germany for $30 plus shipping.
Hey.
Yeah, like I didn't even sell it to them for that much. So win
For somebody. I mean,
yeah,
it's intercontinental now.
yeah. I mean, not a win for me necessarily, I guess. I mean, yeah, intercontinental. I think it's funny, that moment when somebody's making money off of your book and charging 3 times what you charged them initially for it.
They're doing something right, and we just got to figure out what it is.
That's what it must be like working for a publishing company. Like, you do the work, and we'll give you like a third of what you get. Like, oh, okay, I get it now.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Now it's digital. Can they buy that through like paperback, hardback, or not hardback yet? But
You can get paperback, you can get digital. I am currently, I personally am not a huge fan of my voice. In my head, for some reason, I really am like, dude, I so totally can sound like Morgan Freeman. I can't at all. I recorded myself trying to sound like Morgan Freeman and got pissed at everybody that said I sounded like Morgan Freeman, because they're a bunch of liars. So
I just want to bump it up so that hopefully one day you will go out there and try your Morgan Freeman on a very, very large audience.
Yeah, I know, right? They're waiting for me to like go to Utopia Con and like play a role and just fall flat on my face. But I'm looking at doing actually having maybe either myself learning to do a sultry voice or a voice actor, and having my book audio recorded and available on iTunes as well.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of audiobooks myself, and I wish that I had the smooth jazz voice that everybody has out there. But
yeah, I know, right? Like, how do these people do it?
I don't know. Like I think if I'm in that last stage of sickness, right before your voice comes back, then I might be able to pull something off. But I don't really want to get diseased for that long.
Yeah, I know, right? Like a good winter cold. Like I feel like I could just belt that one out. But any other day, I'm like, no, that's no.
I didn't know I sounded like that.
Yeah, no, that's not happening.
Well, I hope, and they can actually go to your website too and purchase a signed copy of the paperback.
Yes,
and that's the new version.
Yes, and then when it is released, again, it's being released in March, March 25th. Once the book is released, they will then be sent out. But again, you can pre-order them if you would like. I have no issues with that at all, as I already have some people that have pre-ordered them. And on the 25th, they will be mailed to you.
Sweet. Well, I hope that everybody goes out and buys a copy. They're remind me how much they're. I think I saw 7, but I don't want to put out there if it's not right.
The price, I do believe they're around the $7. They're going to be around the $7 marker. To be honest, right now, per page count size and things of that such, that I'm still editing with my distributor, and that will kind of, but it's going to be around the $7, $9 range. I'm going to try to keep it around the $7 range to keep it inexpensive. I'm not, you know, Stephen King, so nobody's going to pay $30 for my books yet. Unless you live in Germany. Those guys love me there, apparently.
It's like you and Hasselhoff, you're just like making.
I know, right? Like, I think I should, you know. I think
it's the beard. The beard must be what adds the.
Just like trigger warning tattooed on my forehead. Like, I've seen them where they're ridiculous. Like, they'll start their blog, trigger warning, this blog contains profanity. And because they're going to say words like shit and damn. And they'll trigger warning so nobody is offended. I was like, or adult warning. Like, I don't know.
God, everybody gets so offended by everything now. Everything should be trigger warning. You should probably do that too. Just get it right across the forehead.
Trigger warning.
Well, hopefully everybody will go out and buy all the copies for you. March 25th is when it gets re-released, and hopefully a few months after that, your second one will come out. Yep. Everybody keep an eye out for The Curious Tale of Gabrielle. That'll be out on March 25th once again. You can pre-order through Zach's website. It's zachchop.com.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I got it right.
I earned that one because of the Kara thing.
Yeah, you get that one. Okay, well, thank you everybody for tuning in. Hope you all have a great rest of your Monday when you're watching this or throughout the week. And Zach, best of luck.
Thank you, sir. You have a good day.
You as well.